Parental nutrition. Today we're going to talk about parental nutrition. So parental nutrition is defined as the infusion of nutrients, a nutrient hypersmolar solution containing carbohydrates, fats, and other essential nutrients through an intravenous route, meaning a vein, delivered via intravenous catheter. So these components of this protein, fats, carbohydrates, and what are the components? So in proteins we have amino acids, in carbohydrates we have dextrose, in fats we have it as lipid emulsion. So and also we have electrolytes such as potassium, sodium, chlorides, vitamin, and minerals. So we have two types of parental nutrition, where we have peripheral parental nutrition and total parental nutrition. So just a typical difference between these two is that the peripheral parental nutrition is delivered, number one, via the peripheral vein, number two, it's for shorter periods, while the total parental nutrition is delivered via the central vein and it is for longer periods. So like these are some of the points where we have it provides calories for less than 2 weeks, low dextrose concentration, that is 5 to 10%. The amino acid concentration, it's concentrated with lipid 20%. The osmolarity is obviously less and it's delivered into a peripheral vein. Total parental nutrition is high dextrose, that is 50 to 70%. Amino acid concentration is 8.5 to 10%. Osmolarity is high, that is greater than 1000. Catheter use such as silicone and rubber. It's just some minor details. So just this another table just describe difference between central parental nutrition and peripheral parental nutrition, or just central line and peripheral. So site you use a central line, mostly is usually subclavian line. Peripheral use a peripheral line. Osmolarity, we said for the central one is usually higher, greater than 2000. For the peripheral one is less than 1000. Volume, minimal volume, peripheral, large volume. As we talked about central line, usually for long period of time. Peripheral lines short period, less than 2 weeks. Calories delivered in central lines are high calories, while in peripheral lines are minimal. These are some of the complications which we are going to talk about, but kindly note, when you give high osmolarity to in peripheral vein, you'll have thrombophlebitis. So advantages of enteral feeding, advantages of parenteral feeding. Provides nutrients when you have 2 to 3 feeds of small intestine that has remained, or when the GI is intolerant of feeds. So especially of indication of parental nutrition are maybe after major surgery, when you have bowel obstruction, when you have intracutaneous fistula, massive bowel resection, malnourished patient undergoing chemotherapy, nil parolo, or for greater than 5, or for any reasons. So complications here we have divided the complications into 3 according to the timelines. It's either first 48 hours, where you have stuff like malabsorption, hemothorax, pneumonia, air embolism, or you can have metabolic, that is fluid overload, mostly hyperglycemia. Let me explain this hyperglycemia, hypophosphatemia, and the rest. When you give these nutrients, kindly note that most of these nutrients are given to individuals that their nutrition is compromised, that they are under nutrition, or they are malnourished. So note that this person has low glucose level. Then now we give the glucose level. What happens to the normal physiology of the body? The body produces a hormone called insulin. Insulin contributes, or the function of insulin is to get that glucose from the blood into the cells. Not only does it get the glucose alone, but some hormones like potassium, phosphorus, and also magnesium. So that's why you'll have fluid overload, obvious, and then hyperglycemia, obvious, because you've given the nutrients or glucose. and hypophosphatemia because it's inside the cell, hypokalemia as you have said, magnesium, and this is just a symptom of pre-feeding syndrome. So first 2 weeks you can have catheter displacement, catheter thrombosis, catheter occlusion, metabolic, you'll have hypoglycemia, coma, acid-base balance, electrolyte imbalance, infection, that is catheter. Here you can also have infection, that is catheter site infection. So 1 to 2 months later you can have tear of catheter, catheter thrombosis, blood loss, embolism. Metabolic, you'll have essential fatty acid deficiency, vitamin or trace elements deficiency, metabolic bone disease, among others. So infection, you can have Talin infection and sepsis.